I saw this on my feed when I woke up this morning, and I was like, come on, you gotta be kidding me. That's from End Wokeness. They said breaking. Salt Lake City makes LGBTQ flags official city flags in order to evade Utah's flag banning at government buildings. This is more proof, not that you need it, that this is a straight up cult. Because you don't do stuff like that. You don't like supersede laws and rules to push your ideology forward. Who's in charge? Who's approving this stuff? And how are they in a position of power? This is the kind of thing that should get you laughed out of office, lose your job, be disgraced, and people that actually have a head on their shoulders can take over for you. Because what the hell is this? I have not watched this yet. So here we go. I'm very curious.
I want each and every resident to look up at any flag that flies at City Hall and be reminded that their community values belonging and acceptance, and that their community values every one of them. Let the Sago Lily send a simple but powerful message. Salt Lake City is here for you. We believe in you, and we love you.
Okay. So Godans Raver says, Smash AT, why is that such a problem to you? I am so glad you asked, because that's what I was just going to get into next. Because oftentimes this gets conflated with, oh, he's anti-gay or anti-trans or anti-X, Y, and Z. And it's no, none of that. I say that nobody should be placed above anybody. And when you start doing this kind of stuff, it throws the entire equilibrium off balance. And it starts giving priority and preference to certain protected classes as opposed to just treating people as people. And this is the problem I have for it. We don't have like a straight man flag. We don't have a straight white male. We don't have a straight white female flag. I mean, some of these white females might associate with some of these flags. But my greater point being is like the American flag is the flag that represents this country. And that flag is what people literally are overseas fighting and dying for. So I take personal offense to this when I see this kind of slop get thrown out there, because it's very disgraceful and almost like a shot against your own country. I saw today when I was driving to dinner for my son's birthday, there were some people on the street corner holding anti-Trump, anti-Elon, and a bunch of signs about how democracy is dying and all this other stuff that they just hate the world, all this derangement syndromes that these people have. And you know what? All of that is fine. I didn't have an issue with any of it. Honest, I genuinely don't. I think they're losers, but they're welcome to do that. What I took issue with was some of the people were holding flags with the American flag that was upside down on the sticks that they were holding them on. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing that? Like, bitch and moan, be a Karen on the street corner all you want. But why are you disgracing the American flag right now? Like that's something, I know it's just a symbol, but the symbol of disgracing it tells me a lot more about you than anything else. So Toxin said it perfectly there too. And this is my opinion of flags as well. Flags are not for ideologies. Flags are for countries. And I almost see these ideological flags as people never actually struggled or suffered in their life. They really didn't. So they needed to create a struggle and suffering and say, oh, this flag is for that. It's almost like humanity has reached a point that has been so perfect. It's been so great that they can't have it good. They need to have a personal struggle and then get attention from that and say, oh, this is my own personal suffering and this is my flag that I need to deal with and I need to be noticed and represented for this flag. No, you don't. You live in America. You got the American flag. That's all there is to it. And that's my opinion of the situation. People are welcome to disagree with me. That's why I love this country. I guess people are welcome to sue me over my thoughts too, because people feel like they can do that too. But my greater point being is these people are disrespectful to the very country that they're living in. Why should the country be respectful to them back? And that is where I think the disconnect is with all of it. But again, the bigger problem here is that this is now being exacerbated by a Utah City Council. Salt Lake City makes LGBTQ flags official city flags. Imagine living in Salt Lake City and being straight, and now you have to see these flags everywhere. Especially, and this is going to piss off some people too, but I'm going to say it anyways, especially the kids. And you start waving this shit in their face, and kids are very impressionable. It's almost like a dog whistle subconsciously of acceptance with all of this to start encouraging kids to be like, oh, what's that? I didn't know about that. What is that? Oh, okay. I'm learning more about this. Oh, let me go to school. Oh, my teachers don't need to tell my parents about this anymore. Oh, and as a parent, by the way, with kids that I am very, we'll just say living in California, concerned about the educational system here, I take a step back from all of it and say, yeah, there's some issues here. There are issues that need to be addressed on a level that takes the power away from what I would call people in positions of power that are mentally unwell. And I feel like the only reason these people got to those positions is because they saw getting those positions of power as a way to push their ideology further. And that was the only reason they cared about it. They didn't actually care to make the city better. They didn't actually care about issues or problems or struggles that people had. They cared about pushing their ideology further. And this right here should be exhibit A to everyone about that problem. But again, it's just a 25-second clip. I could talk all day about this. But people in the chat were asking me why I feel the way I do. I hope that explains it in a way that's like, yeah, I feel like that there's not again, I don't care if people are gay or trans. I'll say this till my face turns blue. I do not agree with the lifestyle, but whatever you do when you close your door at night, I legit don't care as long as you're not hurting kids or people or animals or anything else that can't make up their own mind. If you have two consenting adults or however many consenting adults you want, whatever you do when you close the door, do it. I legit don't care. But keep it there, bro. Nobody cares. Don't push that out to everyone else. That's the problem that I have with it. That's the problem that I have with it. See, Valiant Renegade, friend of the channel, says, hey, Danny Direct, have fun with this one. Burning them is now constitutionally protected speech. Is that true? Can you now burn a flag? What the fuck is wrong with the Mormons? Oh, good point. Salt Lake City's the Mormons. I mean, I know they're a silly bunch, but this is actually retarded. This seems like it wouldn't hold up in court. Governments are supposed to be neutral. Adopting a flag of socio-political movements opens up Pandora's box. Again, that's another issue that I have with it. Good point. That would allow other localities in Utah to adopt the MAGA flag as an official. That's a great point. And by the way, even though I tend to agree with MAGA and I lean towards the MAGA movement, I don't consider myself like a MAGA guy by any stretch, but I would have the same issue if Salt Lake City was like, hey, we're adopting MAGA as our state flag. I'd be like, all right, this is getting a little weird here. This is getting a little too far. Let's not do this kind of stuff. This is unhinged. It's not just because it's gay. I want to be very clear about that. I think that's where the people are going to try to take this and try to rip little snippets and be like, oh, he said this, he said that. But this one from Beam, that's a wild hill to die on for Salt Lake City. From what I understand, every state shifted the right to in 2024 election except for Utah. Now I can see why. Why are people obsessed with putting sex flags in our institutions? Thank you. Thank you. What is the deal with this? Like, no one cares if you're gay. We're in 2025. Be gay. The whole thing was like trying to be gay for a long time and getting that socially accepted. Now that it is, now it's like, great, now we need our flag everywhere. It's like, why? Just be gay. Why do you need this everywhere? What the hell? I'm so confused by it. Oh man. But yeah, I'll leave that there. I saw this come through and I was just like, my God, what are we doing? What are we doing?